I stand here ready to advance into that great wet darkness out there because it's 7 a.m. and I'm about to make the long, tumultuous journey to the Lake Taupo Collectibles Event being held today to look for some useless plastic toys to entertain my vast army of currently 104 subscribers that is growing by the day. So if you want to jump on that train, it's a good time to get on there. Got to get on the hype train before it runs you over, that's what I say. Yeah, so just gonna be heading out there today. First time doing this style of video, so I hope it goes well. I really have no idea. I've got a gimbal on my camera, so it should be really smooth holding my phone up right now. So you're just gonna be going looking for some toys and things like that. So well, hopefully it goes well, and we'll make a video and see if it doesn't go well, you'll never see this, so it's fine. Anyway, on my last video, people said I sound like Seth Rogen, or one guy did, and it got a lot of upvotes. I never thought that, so I don't know. Can someone confirm in the comments, do I sound like Seth Rogen? And we'll take a poll, and if I do sound like Seth Rogen, I'll do the laugh in the next video. How about that? That's to get some interaction right there. Alright, we've arrived, and you know you're in trouble when you see this in the parking lot. So this was the first booth when you immediately came in, and I've never been much of a Marvel Legends guy since I was a kid, but I really like this dude Armadillo. I think he was a Build-A-Figure. He's pretty cool. One thing I have noticed about toy shows in New Zealand is they're not just your traditional boy toys like Transformers and He-Man. There's a lot of girl toys, dolls, and things like that as well. Toys for boys, girls, and racist people here today. I don't care what anyone says, early Family Guy rules. This vendor attends a monthly collectibles show in my city and usually actually brings more Transformers to that, but he did bring a few Beast Wars guys here today, but there was nothing for me in this lot. My favorite toy is Pizza Hut menu. It's always cool when you get old toys cheaper than new toys, and these on-card Dinobots are cheaper than new deluxes in stores right now. Alright, who else out there built like the yellow bastard? Now this vendor actually had the most Transformers of anyone, and I was a bit tempted by Bone Crusher for 50 bucks, but everything else he had was recently on clearance at Toy World for much cheaper, so he had just cleared out their clearance section, was trying to flip it at the show, which might be good business, but wasn't for me, unfortunately. Shout out to my boy, Lost to the Brimstone. Oh yeah, we got some Thunderbirds, that's pretty cool. Oh, Garfield, that's nice, and then, oh my god, oh god, oh god. This table here had a big bin of Transformers just chucked on it. We've got Age of Extinction. I think this is Slag or Slug. We had the Age of Extinction repaint of the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee leader mold. Age of Extinction Galvatron. These guys have definitely seen better days, and they were just kind of chucked in this box. A little bit expensive as well, so I ended up passing on all of these. Now, just when all hope was lost from the show, I came across this vending machine outside of a convenience store, and I was like, you know what, for $2, I gotta do it. So we'll take a chance and see what this actually is, if it even is a Transformer. But it was still pretty fun. I haven't done a vending machine in a long time, so this was a highlight of the day, I think. Probably the coolest thing about Taupo, besides the fact that it's a giant lake, you can eat McDonald's in a decommissioned plane. So I do apologize in advance. The lighting in my house is pretty much universally terrible for shooting videos, but we're going to make the best of a bad situation here. And I'll just quickly show you what I picked up. And also I'm shooting this with my cool new gimbal, so it's kind of supposed to be following me. That's pretty neat. First thing I picked up at the show, and this was actually both at the same booth, they both came together. I got these both for $10. This is the DK official guide to the Transformers 2007 movie. It has this really cool lenticular color. Now these DK books are written for younger readers, so they're the kind of books that I really would have liked to check out from the library when I was a little kid. You know, there's just little cool factoids in there, like Bumblebee is a silent protector and things like that. You know, it just kind of tells you a little bit more about the movie characters, which in 2007, if you didn't have internet access and you had just seen Transformers, there wasn't a lot there. You know, if you really liked Bone Crusher, you really liked Blackout, you don't know anything about them other than they looked cool in the movie. So just gives you that little bit extra depth to the characters. You know, of course you had other supplemental media like the comics and the video game, but it just gave you that extra depth to enjoy the characters a little bit more. And that's what I always liked about these style of books. So this is a cool pickup, and I'm going to read this and really enjoy it. And now the other book that I got in that lot of 2 books for $10 was this Transformers Dark of the Moon book, with a bunch of 3D pictures. Now, this doesn't seem to have as much of the same detail as the first book I got, the DK Movie Guide. It was done by a different publisher, but it has a bunch of really cool 3D renders, you know, and looking at them with these really spiffy 3D glasses on, there's actually a surprising amount of depth there. I mean, first of all, look at those glasses. You don't get any cooler than Transformers 3D glasses with the artwork of the characters on them. And yeah, this is a little bit more of a gimmicky product, you know, certainly not a deep read, but you know, it's enjoyable. Again, this is the kind of merch that only came out really with the first, it was really more so for the first 2 movies that I've seen, but the first 3 movies got a lot of junk, you know, a lot of stuff that you see in thrift stores these days. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm really getting into more so than the toys now. Just the amount of merchandise that came out for Transformers 1 and 2 in particular, but some of the stuff still did come out for Dark of the Moon. So really glad to pick this up, and I'm really glad it had the 3D glasses in there as well, because now I have a pair of 3D glasses. You can watch all kinds of things. You can watch Spy Kids 3 on DVD with these, so what else could you ask for? Now, as excited as I was that I got those 2 books, I will admit I was a little bit disappointed I didn't get any actual toys. You know, this is the first toy show I've gone to. I don't think I've gotten anything as far as actual toys. So I went to a couple of department stores looking for any of the Constructicons or Vortex, nothing there. So I was a little bit disappointed. But as I'm coming out of a little convenience store, we would call them a dairy here in New Zealand, I see this machine, these gashapon machines you would have seen earlier in the video, with a little figure in there. And I don't know what this is. I don't really think it's a Transformer, but we're going to have a look and we're going to open that up and we'll see what this guy is and what he actually brings to the table as far as being my little special treat. All right, so I actually already opened this guy up, but I wasn't recording, so you're not getting my authentic live reaction. The camera's the gimbal's tracking my hands pretty aggressively, so that's pretty funny. But I'll pop them back open and you can get some of the same effect here. Like what the hell is that? It looks kind of like Igor, that little guy who helps out Megatron in Transformers 3, but bruh, who the hell are you? Yeah, and you got that Transformers artwork on there, and there he is, whatever he is. If anyone knows if this is a Transformers character of some sort that I'm maybe not aware of, let me know, but he's really ugly, isn't he? Kind of in a cute way, so yeah. $2, can't beat that. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for our trip to the Taupo Collectibles Event this weekend. You know, it was a good time despite being cold and rainy for a lot of it and not finding any actual toys other than this little guy here, I think. If the channel becomes more successful, this is going to be our mascot right here. I really appreciate everyone who did watch and did subscribe based on that last video. I never would have expected any kind of reaction. I thought no one would watch it and it would get 40 views and I would just move on with my life. But because people seemed interested in things that I have to say and my general mucking about, I will keep making these videos as long as people keep wanting to see them, because I'm going to do this stuff anyway. So if you want to watch me do this stuff, feel free, because I'll be doing it anyway. So again, I appreciate very much everyone who's watched and liked, commented, subscribed, all that stuff. It really does mean a lot to me to get those comments, just feel interacted and see in the community. So appreciate it again. Once again, thank you very much. Peace out. Bye.